What's a secret all men keep that women don't know? We know you don't ever ask much of us, but when you do, you're always walking away or on the other side of the house. We can hear you say you want a but we don't know what a is. I've had to explain in excruciating detail so many times that I cannot hear what you are saying from downstairs. All I heard was, "Honey, can you get for me?" If repeating yourself makes you angry, then make the effort to make sure I can hear you the first time. There is absolutely nothing wrong, just sometimes we genuinely want to sit for a while and think about absolutely nothing. And don't bother asking, what are you thinking about, because our brain has wandered very far and trying to bring you up to speed is both somewhat tiresome and pointless. Plus, it makes us sound like a lunatic. For instance, you've been quiet for a while, what are you thinking about? Well, I was thinking about my buddy at work and how he's a Sox fan, and that got me thinking about the Red Sox, which got me thinking about socks in general, and that led me to wonder why they're called socks, which made me wonder who invented socks. And what material makes the best socks? Who discovered spinning wool? Which then got me thinking about the loom, and that led me to think about the Native Americans that used looms, but that got me thinking about the Indians in India, and how Columbus missed India completely but still found a world full of riches, which led to the Spanish taking over most of the Americas, and then the Spanish causing silver to become worthless for a while, then about how a lot of things became worthless through overproduction, like Beanie Babies, and that how thinking of the Boston Red Sox connects with Beanie Babies. We fucking love compliments. Try it and see how far it gets you, because while we may call you lovely things, we rarely get so much in return, and your words mean more than you will ever know. A man is at his smoothest and most confident when he doesn't give a shit about the person he's talking to. I have the opposite problem, and it used to affect me at work all day. The more nervous I am, the more outgoing and friendly I become as a defense mechanism. People think I'm great in meetings or to talk to, but really inside all my systems are on red alert, and I'm full-on fucking panicking. I just want people to never talk to me, but they all think I'm hilarious. Thank God I got a work-from-home job, and now I can just mostly text my coworkers. Dude, same, especially in large groups. People come up after a presentation and tell me how great it was, and that they loved my jokes. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, jokes? I literally don't remember a single thing I said after "Hi, my name is." My wife loves to play a game where she asks me to put on headphones because she can hear the video game that I'm playing, and then she'll talk to me from the other room and get mad at me because I can't hear her because I'm wearing the headphones that I put on because she asked me to wear them. I haven't quite figured out the rules yet, so I lose frequently. We don't remember exactly what happened on the second date, third date, etc. years later. We were just trying to keep from screwing it up each time. Do I remember walking on Mars from our third date? Of course, honey, how could I forget? It happened exactly just how you described it to me. This is the most cliche answer, but it's true. It doesn't matter how much effort women put into makeup and clothes. If a man finds a woman attractive, he will very likely find her as attractive without any of that. Or he might even find her more attractive with just casual clothes and PJs on a regular day. I wish I got more physical contact and affection from everyone in my life. No one really touches us. Guy friends can't because, I don't know, homophobia or something. Girlfriends can't because it's a come-on. It sucks! I once had a guy friend who would very innocently just put his arm around me when we were standing around chatting. I miss that. Oftentimes, the women we date are the only people we can touch. And I'm not talking about hugs or cheek kisses. Yes, I hug my friends. But those are temporary, short, and not a lot of physical contact. I'm talking about extended physical closeness, like sitting close enough where your bodies touch, holding hands or arms while walking, putting arms around each other, massages, things often labeled as sexual or too intimate to be shared between two people who aren't romantically connected. This seems to be mostly a Western phenomenon, because I know in other countries, like India for instance, men will hold hands as they just walk down the street. They're not even together, they're just buddies. They're going out for lunch. And there's, countries where they'll do the kind of cheek kiss thing, and you'll see guys do that with guys. It seems to be a Western phenomenon, this kind of, inability of guys to be physical with other guys if it's not in, say, a sports atmosphere. I know I've seen this affect a lot of my friends, even if they don't see it themselves, so I do kind of wish that we could normalize it without making it weird, We have performance anxiety, anxiety to provide for our family, work anxiety, fatherhood anxiety, etc. We can't always be on point. Give us a break sometime in the same manner everyone else expects some compassion. Our length doesn't just vary on temperatures or one size when at rest. We can wake up with a 1,000-year-old redwood and by noon, for some chaotic reason, have it turtled and decide to be a button for a couple hours. We never lay completely still. Our boys down south will move slowly around, rising and falling like a weird, fleshy lava lamp, completely outside of our control. Every woman I've been with and has shown this to was astonished. It's alive! Okay, that one I didn't know. I'm gonna have to pay a little bit closer attention and see if this is actually true. We don't forget to ask for a bunch of details. We just don't care. The less I know about other people's affairs, the happier I am. I'm not interested in caring about people. I once worked with the guy for 3 years and never learned his name. Best friend I ever had. We still never talk sometimes. My wife always wants to know what I talked about after I spent a few hours with the boys. Nothing. We basically stared at each other and nodded a bit, and we're gonna go do it again next week. No, I don't know if he got that promotion. Why would we talk about work or family? Well, he beat the sweet RPG and spent hours showing me his party build. Really comes in clutch stacking evade stats in his tank character while flanking with his fighter and mage. Also, I think his life is fine. Seemed happy. We have a nothing box. The nothing box is impenetrable, and no other thoughts can get in there. We like the nothing box, and will frequently jump into the nothing box at random. So when you see your man and he has a completely blank expression, we're in the nothing box. So when you ask, "What are you thinking?" and we say, "Nothing," it's a genuine response. It's possible for us to have no thoughts at all whenever we want. It's great. Yeah, can't relate. My mind is constantly going, so I never understood how people are able to just sit there and think about literally nothing. Kinda wish I had that, but my brain does come up with some interesting thoughts in its constant running. So kind of a blessing and a curse. I have no interest in being friends with your friends. In fact, I have no interest in even hanging out with your friends. I have enough friends, and I don't have the willpower to pretend like I give a single about what Brad does for a living. Disagree a bit on this one. I think that a lot of guys don't have enough friends. I know myself that's been an issue that I've had, and I actually met a lot of really good friends through my ex-girlfriend. So I would say this one is definitely not an all guys thing. A few things. If we don't want to get busy with you, it's not because of you. Sometimes we know it'll be quick, or we want to be a bit selfish, and we don't want to feel like we're using you, even if you're into that. On the feelings, if we say we need a moment, then give us that moment, however long it takes. Typically, a man is thinking about how to formulate the response without being disrespectful towards the emotion of the situation. When we're pressed, we can have a brash response, and then it's no fun for anyone. Lastly, the everyday stresses of life wear on us as well. We may not show it in the ways that are easy to read or readable at all. Brooding silently is our cry. The hour-long toilet visits, or the few minutes we spend in our car after we arrive home from work, are our spa days. Reading through these, I see so much stereotypical men stuff. I'd like to say we aren't all the same. Some of us are tough, some sensitive, some do rugged men stuff, and some will be happy to just sit and have tea with you. I think a secret I feel as a father is uncomfortable is when I take my daughter to something that moms usually do. I see the weird looks that moms give me when I go to gymnastics and dance classes. I see how I'm treated differently from other moms. I see how you ask the new mom her name, but never ask me my name, even when taking my daughter for weeks. We do have emotions, just don't often feel entitled to expressing those emotions lest it harm us. Just asking to see them isn't enough. We have to trust you aren't going to invalidate our feelings, which, unless you have some awareness of unconditional regard and non-judgmental listening, you are very likely to. If your social skills are only about talking without listening, a man is unlikely to actually open up to you. Of course, this may well be a universal trait rather than just with men. I had an ex laugh at me for shaking after being in the middle of a shootout. I was shaking. I've seen so much violence, stopped a ton of violence. I couldn't tell where the sound was coming from, or react to it. I hid and then ran. It wasn't a situation I could react to because I didn't know where, how, or why, just that it was very close. She fucking laughed at me, a woman that had never seen any real violence in her life, and she laughed at me for being scared. She mocked me. I thought you were so tough. You've been through all this shit. Look at you shaking like a leaf. I've seen worse since then, handled worse since then. Screw her. I could never share anything with her after that. That basically killed anything I would ever have had with her. And she knew everything about me. I really hope that this is his ex because of situations like this, not because she broke his heart even further. Because people like that need to be held accountable for their horrible behavior. People have feelings. You don't need to mock someone just because they hear gunshots a block over and have more experience with actual violence than you. When you have experience with something, you know how severe that thing can be, and how quickly situations like this can escalate. When you don't, you just, oh, it's not that bad, it doesn't involve me, so I'm perfectly safe. This bothers me, this pisses me off, and I do hope this guy's doing a lot better. But on a happier note, that some tiny details women do are irresistible, even when they just have a normal appearance. Things like unawarely combing their hair with their hands, light smiles after listening to a joke, childish expressions after behaving funny or silly, etc. It's the way how they're inattentively being themselves that makes it the best. We really don't know what we did wrong or why you're so mad at us over it. For example, I woke up one day and my girlfriend just wouldn't talk to me. Took me a few hours to get out of her. I was genuinely puzzled. Turns out, I grabbed decaf coffee by accident when I went to the store, and now she felt tired the whole trip to her sister's place. I don't drink coffee, so I didn't notice or see the big deal, which made the situation worse. The other time, I apparently cheated on her in her dream. Yeah, good luck figuring that one out. When I found out that my now ex-girlfriend's best friend knew everything about my Johnson, it just shattered all my trust in her. To make it worse, she pushed back that her best friend should know all those details, because that's how friends should be. I asked her how she would feel if I told my best friend all about her intimate details about her body, especially all the things she was insecure about. She agreed that it would make her feel bad, but still maintained that I shouldn't feel bad about her telling her friend all of my intimate details. Wow, gotta love double standards. Jeez. I can't tell you the number of times that I've heard, why don't you open up more? But when I do, it's usually followed by, what is wrong with you? So, lesson learned. Things are fine and I'm okay. End of conversation. When we're doing monotonous tasks, we'll play theme music in our heads, usually not an entire song, but maybe just the chorus over and over, sometimes for hours on end, or until the task is completed. Occasionally they're real songs, occasionally they're completely made up. Now let's hop into the rapid fire segment for stories too short to make a full entry out of, but too good to be left out. Let's jump in. When we do a big sigh, it's mostly because we forgot to breathe for a brief moment. That a grown man will see a stick while walking and think, gee, that's a nice stick. You can talk about us to our face, but in front of your friends and family, that builds resentment. When you ask us to say hi to someone on your behalf, we don't. We hurt more than you think we do. No matter how many times we've seen them, we are always going to try and get another peek. I think I speak for most men when I say that every once in a while, it's nice to be the little spoon. I'm just gonna say it. Some of you guys have really horrible girlfriends. No matter how many times you ask, there is absolutely nothing wrong. Except maybe that you keep asking me what's wrong, 'cause it's getting real annoying. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm ReddList. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.
As fast as he was, I was just a bit faster.